Ozugu and her husband, Jude Ozugu, with hopes of a better education and a brighter future. The ordeal of the little girl in the hands of her guardians, who hail from Ako, Ibwetiti local government area of Enugu State, same as the girl, is better imagined.
They turned this girl not only to punch him back, but so tortured her physically and mentally, driving a nail, can you imagine? Drilling actually a nail in 2 places, her head, and then using hot electric iron, and you can see injury all over her body.
The bubble, however, burst when concerned neighbors alerted the police and a human rights group in Enugu, Women AIDS Collective, WACO, and the little girl was rescued. While the girl is currently receiving treatment at the State University Teaching Hospital, Park Lane, the guardians, Mr. and Mrs. Ezugu, are in police custody.
We are happy that the police in Enugu is very responsive now and handled this case promptly, and we are moving to an important phase, which is prosecution. And until people are held accountable for their crimes and others see it, it cannot deter anybody.
On a good note, however, the Enugu State government has promised to offset Norma's medical bills and to take care of her well-being.
The governor of Enugu State spent millions of naira to enact the Child Rights Act. Government of Enugu State will not take this lying low.
Meanwhile, the Enugu State government has offered little Norma a scholarship to university level. Mother of the victim, Mrs. Nedinso Nade, thanked the government and all those who played roles towards the rescue of her daughter. According to the Chief Medical Director, Parkland Teaching Hospital, Professor Na, the victim is responding to treatment and her chances of full recovery are high.
There are many others being tortured by their employers and guardians. It behoves on all of us to report any such happening in our neighborhood to the police. Now, for the Lagos State Police Command, it was a bumper harvest of suspected criminals in the month of June. It seems like the restrictions due to COVID-19 pandemic did not deter some criminal minds from misdemeanor. Leading the profile is a gang of alleged cultists said to be the mastermind of the murder of a rival cult member. The mystery surrounding the shooting, which was filmed and widely circulated on social media, was uncovered by the police with the aid of technology. Dr. Uguyemi reports.
This clip was widely circulated on social media weeks ago. The event was reported to have taken place in Ikorodu area of Lagos. The identities of the men behind the camera was a mystery all this while until the police, with the aid of technology, uncovered the personalities.
When we caught the guy in that video, we asked him to confess, and after he confessed, I shot him.
And many people are there, and I shot him. Apart from this clique, the police paraded 30 suspects arrested for rape and defilement. Among the lot is 27-year-old Adeni Ajayi, an alleged serial rapist. He met his Waterloo after falling for a setup by one of his would-be victims.
The thing will just make me, I will just stand up. If I don't see any money to sustain with me again, I'll be looking for where they open down their burglary to just open their house. Why I did not know them, I will just go inside their house.
And when did you start this?
That was 2017/18.
And why did you decide to do this?
I don't know how to get a job, and I don't know who to help me because I have a family, but they did not turn up. Everybody was just taking care of their own family. They did not turn up on my ass since my father died.
The command announced the recovery of 6 stolen vehicles and 328 bags of cannabis sativa, as well as other illicit drugs intercepted. 9 suspected fraudsters who operated by duping people using fake US dollars were also arrested, while a kidnapped victim was rescued.
So the victim happens to be a cow dealer. So fortunately or unfortunately now they know him, and it was the son of the victim that organized it. So the man just came in out in another part of the country with a cow. So after selling, I was about to go back. So the son now organized this. So they went for 5 days now. We are in the bush. So where the man was kept around the prayer 6. Fortunately, so we were able to arrest. So the 5 people now rescue the man alive without any takeover paid.
Also among the beehive of suspects were robbers called One Chance, who steal from passengers on commercial buses.
Most of our friends, they do carry backup. Like if you pick somebody's phone now, in a commercial vehicle now, if I pick somebody's phone, I will just pass it to my guy at the back. He will sit as a normal human being there, like a normal passenger. So after I pick the pocket, now I will just pass it to the person. Me, I will come down. Probably now, if the person that has the phone now get to feel it, so that is my phone. If you contact him to come and meet me, you won't say anything with me. I'll be like, I will not take your phone. But if the thing is getting too much rosy, the person that passed the phone to, we drop it.
As they are being transported to await their day in court, their chant is to their creator to finish what he has started.
If found guilty, they will do time. The law is sacrosanct. Next up, a young man who fortunately survived electric shock after coming in contact with an 11 kVA power line in Asaba, Delta State, is still shaken up by the incident. Austin Ademodu, who paid a visit to the victim at the Federal Medical Center where he is receiving treatment, reports that the near tragedy has stirred up a controversy over a commissioned project.
At the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, lies a patient many have described as a man of destiny and luck. His ordeal all started this way. Close to 10 minutes, he battled for his life on an 11 kVA line as captured by NTA News crew spontaneously. Timely response from sympathizers who came to his rescue, reason for his being alive at this moment. The victim is responding to treatment from the doctor's perspective.
The bones is actually not that deep. We've examined it. We'll also be monitoring to see if it actually went so deep, because that's how electrical bone usually is, but it's at the level of what we call deep dermal and a few areas of foot thickness. So far, he is doing well.
However, there seems to be controversy over the official identity of the victim, whom officials of the Benin Electricity Distribution Company have since denied as staff.
They brought some of the material in my shop. I work, some of the material is in my shop. It's NEPA people, not illegal connection.
We are still trying to unravel and to discover the identity of those people that may have been involved. But for all I can say now is that the 3 people you saw on the line are not our staff. We'll have our procedure of granting outage. Before anybody is allowed to work on the line, the station operator will grant you outage. And until you are done and return the outage form to him, he does not energize the line.
Attempts to get further information from either the victim or this young lady who poses as sister has been futile. The lady at some point became more hostile to the crew.
I don't have any business with you. I want to see doctor. Are you a doctor? Are you not going to pay the bills? No.
Could this be the reason for her reactions?
We prescribe some dressings. Some are expensive and some are not so expensive. I already outlined it to him and also one of his relatives. And they said they're going to get back to us. But they also cited some financial constraints. And management of bonds generally is capital intensive. It actually takes a lot of money.
For now, the victim needs to undergo further medical examination, which require financial commitments. Having survived the initial ordeal, one hopes he surely overcomes the present situation.
Thank goodness he survived it. Care should be taken before others fall victim. Moving on, a popular Lagos cosmetic surgeon, Dr. Oluwapo Adepoju, has been dragged to court by the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, for controversial services rendered several disgruntled patients. A series of complaints from clients who went under the knife in her facility is why she's facing trial. Tunde Saiki reports on the proceedings.
In a 5-count charge leveled against Dr. Oluwapo Adepoju and her clinic, Med Contour Services Limited, before Justice Mohammed Liman, showed that FCCPC accused the cosmetic surgeon of shunning summons by the commission to appear before it and produce certain documents. This follows complaints received by the commission against Dr. Adepoju and her clinic. The defendant, however, pleaded not guilty to the 5 counts. Justice Mohammed Liman admitted her to bail on self-recognizance in view of the COVID-19 pandemic.
What the FCCPC seeks in this case is to compel the defendants to cooperate with the investigative process. It is that investigative process that will address the underlying complaints. And this is about law and order. You cannot have a society where the regulators have absolutely no way of ensuring that operators in the businesses do not comply with the law. What we've done is to proceed with allegations and say, you know what, we want to get to the bottom of this. However, the allegations we have are serious and give us sufficient probable cause to proceed. And because there's a risk of injury to other people while we're making those inquiries, we decided that this business should stop while we're trying to determine that it is safe. That is all we're doing here. And that's why the place was sealed up.
Earlier in the proceeding, the judge dismissed a preliminary objection by the defense counsel, Marian Jones, challenging the validity of the charges and the court's jurisdiction to entertain the matters. It will be recalled that the accused was alleged to have refused to respond to complaints against her from Marlene Oluwakemi, Taiwo Temilade, and Vivian Mwazoligbo that the surgeon services are unsafe for consumers.
If, for instance, we think that something professional went wrong with respect to the licensed professionals who were carrying on the business, we would refer that to the appropriate regulatory professional authority. And for doctors, that would be the Medical and Dental Council.
The matter was later adjourned to the 9th of this month.
The case continues and NewsLine will follow every step of the way. Let's go on a short break. More stories right after.
Is on your my camera. Yes, I need you like you need me, and I know it's awesome, my baby.
Stay-home data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Dial *777# to choose a plan. Glow Unlimited.
Introducing the new Nivea Dry Impact and Dry Comfort Deodorant. Now with quick dry effect and longer lasting fragrance. Guaranteed to keep you feeling dry and fresh all day. Proven 48-hour protection and longer-lasting fragrance from Nivea.
Never get caught unfresh with the new Nivea Dry Fresh Deodorants.
Your hogs are a comfy place for dropping in, for lazing around, and hanging out. So we've designed our hugs to be just as comfy, with a super absorbent core to lock wetness away, and the soft, flexible waistband. Our most comfortable diaper keeps baby comfy at every angle. We'll never stop finding new ways to hug more like you. Huggies, your hugs inspire ours.
Tell them. They told me you are the best around here.
What can I do for you, sir?
I want my own very, very simple. I don't want any shine. If I see any shine.
Actually, I'd love some sequins on my skirt. And I don't like any frills. I beg, I want frills on mine. But it must not be too tight.
Tight! That tight now, that is what I want. And the transition.
Oh, you know what? I want a gown.
Me too. I want to come to buy.
You know what GMS and this Did you capture all the information?
Of course not.
Actually.
Fantastic.
I give my customers what they love because everyone has their unique style. So why should they wear the same thing? Just like MTN for me, which gives unique data and recharge offers just the way you like it. Just dial *121# and turn up great offers every day.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
From Chivita, the home of your trusted juice and refreshment brand in Nigeria, comes another first. Introducing the new cool Chivita in can. Enjoy the same great taste.
Nigerians, let us take responsibility. Stay healthy, stay safe, and curb the spread of the virus. Take responsibility. The coronavirus spreads from one person to another. Let us avoid crowd gathering of any kind for any reason. Take responsibility. Avoid traveling from one state to another during these lockdown restrictions. Obey all the rules that are put in place. Take responsibility. Stop spreading fake news and unverified reports about the coronavirus. There is no known cure for COVID-19. Take responsibility. Observe all the measures that can help stop the spread of the virus. Together, we can do this, but only if we take responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Welcome back. You must have heard that schools in Lagos will partially reopen in the first week of August. With coronavirus still spreading within communities, Amaka Owo takes a look at measures in place to ensure that the safety of tomorrow's leaders is not taken for granted.
For several months, many parents and schools adopted the virtual learning system to engage pupils and students. This alternative has saved the gap following the closure of schools, in line with the stay-at-home guidelines for the prevention of coronavirus.
I miss my friends. I miss my school.
Lagos State government is set to partially reopen schools for those in transitional classes to return to classrooms.
The commencement date for this will be from Monday, August the 3rd, 2020.
Yes, I'm very happy. We've basically been preparing for this our entire lives.
Parents have raised concerns over certain issues.
The schools have to take responsibility up to the extent of instituting very serious social distancing measures, because the school is not full right now, so they can use several classes to do what they have to do.
How many parents can afford the masks? Again, are the schools ready to actually provide water and sanitizers?
Parents should first of all understand and believe in the existence of the coronavirus, because I think that is one of the major problems that we're having in Nigeria now. If your child says, I'm not feeling well, do not force that child to go to school, believing that they would administer paracetamol. This is not the time for that.
For the others who are yet to resume and still have to stay at home, their safety must not be compromised.
There's no need to ration soap or water or sanitizers at this time. When the children are going out, provide them with pocket-sized bottles of sanitizer so they don't have to depend on anybody.
As a parent, I've been very strict with my children. They don't go out to do anything. They don't go out to visit friends. They don't go out to buy anything. I buy everything that the family needs.
Giving credence to the above statements, 11-year-old Madia Obara says her parents make it a point of duty to educate her on how to stay safe from COVID-19.
They tell me that I should be very careful, that even if it's my uncle or aunt or cousin or friend that comes to me, I should move backwards, but in a nice way. I know that you have to wear a mask everywhere you go, and you have to go out when it's needed, and you use hand sanitizer when you need to, when you come back from anywhere.
For the students, they are preparing mentally and otherwise after weeks of being closeted.
While schools work hard to meet the requirements for resumption, parents must prepare their children and wards adequately. Moving on, the hospital is widely considered a place of healing. This explains why public health centers are usually crowded with patients. However, there is currently a growing apathy for hospitals. In fact, some people now dread these facilities. Nancy Gadi Anunuwu investigates reasons behind this newfound phobia.
Hospital is usually the place sick people go to for consultation and drugs prescription. Today, the situation is, however, far from this reality following the fear of COVID-19. Many patients in Nigeria, like Boyi Abu and Paulina Andrew, now prefer to patronize pharmacies for their health needs.
If you go there now, they will tell you, say, the coronavirus. Meanwhile, I never have it.
So I don't want to go to the hospital because I don't want to contact the coronavirus in the hospital.
Even you have stomach pain, they will say coronavirus. So the hospital, the doctors have not even do their work to attend to people. People are dying.
Vitamin C, zinc, that is what mostly they come to look for. But some few of them came to treat malaria instead of going to the hospital because of the doctor not attending to them.
I want to say the patronage has been a little bit appreciated.
So they go to pharmacists, they go to...
Dr. Obinna Oleribe considers the distractions caused by COVID-19, fear of stigmatization, and the use of hospitals as isolation centers as some factors responsible for the patronage of pharmacies instead of hospitals for medical treatment. Some doctors and health centers are also said to be rejecting patients who present non-COVID-19 cases, resulting in a mutually shared distrust, fueled by fear of the virus, which has now claimed several lives.
Yes, doctors and nurses are actually distracted by COVID, so they are working to ensure that we do not have a exploited epidemic in Nigeria. And so COVID takes priority over other common diseases like malaria.
Medical practitioners are, however, unanimous in their advice against self-medication.
Well, this COVID-19 is not an excuse not to come to the hospital. You see, doctors, when they prescribe drugs, they prescribe based on diagnosis. The other aspect is that for every person coming to the hospital, like typically in National Hospital, people are screened for temperature.
At this very point in time, a lot of people are treating themselves on their own, and which is very wrong.
Nigeria's Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has warned severally that health workers should attend to patients who present non-COVID-19 cases. But the fear of the noisy killer is not helping. Medical practitioners say if attitudes are not changed, many more fatalities may be recorded as people are denied or refused medical attention. It could be a case of dying or killing many to prevent them from death.
As much as the fears are valid, self-medication is not an alternative to a hospital. If you have to go, please protect yourself. Still on COVID-19, desperate times call for desperate measures, and this certainly is a mindset of scientists as they continue to search for the coronavirus vaccine. And instead of waiting for a scientific breakthrough, some people, out of sheer desperation, are brewing questionable concoctions for consumption, claiming the substances can cure or prevent coronavirus. Annie Daniels reports.
Since the outbreak of the coronavirus in Wuhan, China, nations of the world have been mourning, ailing and fretting. Although measures like regular hand washing, use of hand sanitizers, maintaining physical and social distancing, as well as wearing face masks are in place as stipulated by World Health Organization to curb the spread of the virus, new cases have continued to emerge, with more deaths recorded. Researchers and scientists are relentless in the search for a permanent cure for the virus. While humanity awaits the outcome, some Nigerians, out of desperation and apprehension, have resorted to seeking quick solutions, thereby patronizing local herb dealers. For instance, Sammy is a local herb dealer. She attests to enjoying high patronage due to COVID-19.
People do come around, I want to prevent corona, so we give them. We have prevention for it, like neem leaf, lemongrass and turmeric, ginger. You boil everything together and you drink. No kata, nothing, you feel all right.
Like Sammy, Mama Odwa, another dealer, says this herbal mixture can help prevent coronavirus.
You say, you go get a cough, this thing. I will give her medicine, you will go. Immediately you will go. I know one doctor called last week. I treat her. God will help me to treat her. He don't go.
Yes, dogoyaro leaves, lemongrass, ginger and garlic are in high demand this period for obvious reasons. Other respondents are doubtful of the accurate dosage of the virus herbal potions.
How they know that it can cure coronavirus? How they know it can cure? How many people they cure? Let them come out and tell the whole world this is the amount of the people, this is the quantity of the people who use native medicine and cure. Let them come out and tell the whole world so that the medical doctors will look after that.
With unanswered questions from the submissions of respondents and herbal dealers, I approached the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, a body charged with the responsibility of carrying out researches for infections like COVID-19.
We haven't had any proof to show that those things cure COVID-19. Or prevent COVID-19. There is nothing that has shown that. No research that has shown that. So, but because there are things that people have been used to, they've been eating it for years. We are not bothered if they do. It's just that when they start to mix them together, and it may produce something else which may be toxic. So we like to tell the public to be a bit careful on some of these things that they buy and use.
Listen to more.
We are now working on what people will probably consider impossible in Nigeria. I think some people may even be laughing as I'm speaking. Vaccine production. Because we have the whole genome of the virus sequenced.
Surprisingly, these local herb dealers agree to World Health Organization's directives. And for these respondents, creating more awareness on the dangers of not adhering to safety rules by WHO and the dangers of consuming these suspicious drinks would drastically aid the pushback against COVID-19.
The guidelines are clearly spelled out. People need to be mindful of what they ingest to prevent the virus. You don't want to die trying. We need your help on this next one. It's about a road accident victim who has so far spent 3 weeks at the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, Delta State. He was rescued by personnel of the Federal Road Safety Corps, but with severe head injuries. Sadly, he lost his memory in the aftermath. His name is Shegun, and we desperately need to find his relatives. Austin Edemodu reports.
For now, he seems calm and relaxed. The case of this young man who has been named Shegu by the hospital staff is somehow complicated. It all started 3 weeks ago, according to the Chief Nursing Officer of the Mental Health Unit at the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, when he was admitted as an accident victim.
Well, the orthopedic teams manage him because it's essentially a case for the orthopedics. So the team managed him. He's still not coherent himself. He's still not cooperative. He does not have a control over himself. So most times he's restless. He's restless here. So his condition as it is right now It's a bit difficult to manage.
His condition is giving serious concern to hospital staff and caregivers within the unit.
The time they brought him to this place, he has been behaving somehow funny. If you talk to him, he will not respond well. He do speak Yoruba, but we here, we don't understand Yoruba. So we asked him questions about his people. He said he don't know anything about them.
Shegu speaks Yoruba fluently but somehow incoherently. With the aid of this woman, I tried getting some information from him.
Oh, laburo.
Aburo. Mo laburo me àjọjọ orúkọ kan ṣono.
Ibo ló ń gbé?
Òun náà máa ń gbé lẹ́lí bíbá náà, ó sì máa ń lọ síbòmí.
Yes, so if you ask him, he'll be able to answer you a few questions. But sometimes we also doubt whether those things are very, very correct, because we're not too sure of his mental state.
Henry Okonkwo is the head of the social welfare department of the hospital. He says Shegu's condition is not helping much in contact tracing of his relations.
His name is not Shegu. The name was given to him by the matron in charge of the ward, because actually the man cannot remember who he is, can't remember his name. We have actually contacted some individuals that are Yoruba, that speak Yoruba in the hospital, to come to his aid. They have actually come and looked at him to see if they can actually recognize him or talk to him and see if they can actually know where he's actually from. So they have done that, and they said they will actually get back to me on other things, because the man, nobody's with him, so he needs other things to actually take care of him, drugs, beddings and all that.
It is hoped that Shegu recovers from memory loss as quickly as possible so that he can once again reunite with his family.
Was really heartbreaking. All things being equal, the family members of the patient will come forward and we will update you. I'll pause a while for some commercials. Stay with us.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial formula and deep cleaning gel keeps your teeth clean and protected. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath and more.
So good to be here.
Me too, sure. I brought that specially for you. You see that sanitizer you're holding? That is my protection against germs. Germs are everywhere, and they're always in places like there, and there. These germs spread all sorts of illnesses, so we have to be vigilant and protect our health. And that's why I use Too Sure Hand and Surface Sanitizer. With 70% alcohol, Too Sure Sanitizers ensures that you stop germs and you live well.
Wow, so I can be sure of my protection from germs.
Not just sure, but Too Sure.
Auntie Too Sure.
Oh no, call me Auntie Too Sure.
Too Sure Hand and Surface Sanitizer. Stop germs, live well.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
Oh, I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption, stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect the lives of millions of Nigerians. To these health workers, we at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, on behalf of millions of Nigerians, say a big thank you for all that you have done and are doing. To the security agencies enforcing the lockdown and every other frontliner, we say thank you for putting your lives on the line to save ours. There is no amount of words that can quantify our gratitude. Thank you. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Welcome, dear. Have you washed your hands?
I'm inside my house again. This thing not the key black man.
I don't know if it's misinformation or poor hygiene that will kill you first. Coronavirus is real, and good hygiene practice will save your life. Anyway, no hand washing, no eating.
I will not take care of it. How's one of the parents? Coronavirus is real and it's on the rise. But you can help yourself and help others to be safe. Remember, we can stop the spread. It's in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's talk food now. It's called Shefan, but here we know it simply as goat's meat. Nigerians appreciate this protein and can whip up many local recipes with it. It's also not categorized as red meat, so don't let the bloody look cause you to think otherwise. Young Eva takes a look at the nutritional value of goat meat.
Goat meat or chevon is simply meat gotten from an adult goat. This delicacy is very popular in Nigeria, especially in Akwa Ibom State, not just for food but because it is held sacred. This is owing to the fact that no traditional event is conducted without the use of the goats. While most of it is reared locally, a large percentage of what is consumed comes in from the northern part of the country on a weekly basis, an indication of the rate of its consumption.
My family would prefer goat meat.
They buy goat more than cow.
This meat, which is reputed for having a very strong aroma, is an important protein source for children and even adults.
The preference for goat meat by folks around this area is not necessarily because it is the healthier option, but simply because it is the sweeter option, especially when compared to beef.
Naturally, goat sweet past cow.
I can say entire Akwa Ibom love goat meat because we don't have any other meat than goat.
Goat meat, it's a good delicacy because of the flavor. It's part of our culture to eat goat because in Akwa Ibom State we actually use goat for a lot of activities culturally.
I prefer goat meat because it gives a better sense of taste.
While that may be the case, it does not take away from the fact that goat meat is a very nutritious delicacy. Despite being classified as red meat, research shows that goat meat is leaner and contains less cholesterol than beef. It promotes hemoglobin production, contains omega-3 fatty acids, low in sodium and high in potassium, good for the bones, strengthens immunity, contains lower saturated fat than beef, and can relieve symptoms of premenstrual syndromes.
Our recommendations generally is that if you're going to eat some type of red meat, then maybe the goat meat have less saturated fatty acid compared to beef.
It has high levels of calcium in it. This calcium helps in the bone formation in children. So when a mother prepares food for the children and she uses goat meat, this
is a thriving local blacksmith industry. This trade adds a unique ambience to the town and serves as a source of livelihood for participants who have continued the age-long vocation handed down by past generations. Achigili Magaji reports.
30-year-old Suleiman Gambo Hamza, and father of 3 who has gained more than 12 years experience, does not miss any day to be here. He takes pride in the vocation as old as humanity of truth making. A lot of ingenuity and professionalism drive the processes among scores of participants who make very popular tools including hoes, cutlasses, water sprinklers, to household items such as pots, charcoal stoves, spoons, boxes and axes.
If you have as soon as you have the material, when you have the money, you bought material. When you make a pot, at least through then, an idea you go make small profit. But for now, we don't have resources.
One day they met some people. One day they bought. One day they 5,000. Some people now one day na 3,000. Some people now one day na 8,000, 10,000.
The beauty is that young entrepreneurs are encouraged to keep alive the business inherited from forefathers.
This session of Lafia is the heart of the business who worked so hard to popularize it before being exported to other parts of the town. In fact, there is a custodian known as Sarki Makere, meaning the chief of blacksmiths.
Seeing grandfather, father, even me, my mother should do this work because my father and my mother, all these things were blacksmiths.
It's through this way I will get the money that I will marry, building their houses. I'll help my parents and my oldest brothers.
There is prosperity as products attract high patronage to promote well-being, agricultural development, employment and revenue generation.
The quality is good because they last longer, and sometimes when we buy, like our people now, they see ask us to buy for them, so we normally come here to buy.
The quality of this work, number one, you see pots where we use cook. Now then they are doing the pots for us. This muruhu we are cooking. Now then they are produce all the muruhu for women. They are using it.
For the industry, which has lasted many generations, participants are asking for government support to expand the business and contribute to local economy. as a positive response to the vocational training center under construction may equip the participants with modern technology in the task ahead upon completion.
If you ever visit Lafia, be sure to check out the blacksmiths. Now, there's something about the big cities that make rural folks migrate in droves to be part of the hustle and bustle. It's amusing sometimes because if you carry out an objective survey, rural areas have an abundance of economic opportunities. Unfortunately, these resources are mostly left untapped, and the impact of the constant exodus of the rural population to the urban centers is what Aya Precia will examine in this report.
Rural-urban migration is a social incidence where able-bodied young men and women of productive age leave the rural areas for urban centers in search of access to basic necessities of life, which are not available where they are coming from. These basic needs that make life meaningful, such as electricity, educational and healthcare facilities, potable water, roads, and industries, among others, are the key responsibilities of governments at different levels to the people. Failure of government to meet these needs often force rural dwellers to the city centers where such amenities are provided. The social practice often results in population explosion in the urban areas, thereby creating other forms of socioeconomic conditions of unemployment, urban poverty, emergence of slums, and security challenges in urban centers. Observers who bear their minds on the situation attribute rural poverty and lack of development to these issues, stressing that the labor of those able-bodied persons running from the rural areas would have contributed to the development of the grassroots. Consequently, observers urge governments at different levels to pay a special attention to infrastructural development of rural areas to encourage able-bodied persons to be able to live there and engage in productive ventures like fishing, farming, and laundering, among other occupations that are meaningful to the economy of Nigeria.
When there is development in a particular place, people tend to go to that side. And when you provide security, when you provide light, people enjoy that area.
Develop a kind of policy to bring this developmental structure to the rural area. It will also help.
Ready to work. We're ready to see improvement, both urban and rural area. This as well will help reduce the level of insecurity in the country.
There should be good educational facilities. Companies, factories should be built in the rural areas to decongest the urban area. As it is now already, the urban area is already congested.
They maintain that if young able-bodied people are attracted to the grassroots by virtue of improved socioeconomic conditions made available through government policies and programs, the seemingly intractable security challenges in the country are likely to be greatly reduced.
Truth is, the grass is not greener on the other side. Stay in your small town and flourish. Opportunities abound everywhere. Moving on, the recent flooding experience in parts of Lagos State brought discomfort and despair to several residents who predict that the city may soon lose its beauty if the trend persists. After taking an objective look at the issue, Annie Daniels arrived at a conclusion on the way forward. I know you can't wait to hear what it is. Annie,
Lagos, Nigeria's commercial hub, is fondly called the center of excellence. And why not? The city is excellent in terms of its mega status due to economic gains arising from its dense population and abundant human resources. Check out the network of roads. And of course, its popular bridges that link the mainland to the island. They are beautifully suspended over the lagoon. A drive-through feels like tourism experience. What is Lagos without its aquaculture? The Atlantic Ocean is within reach, and from the sandy shores, a traveler can journey into some countries within the West African sub-region and even beyond the continent. One cannot also overlook the numerous pedestrian bridges erected for safety over the busy routes, as well as the thousands of modern architecture that make the island appear Western. Do you know why the city and the toga echo for show? Indeed, Lagosians love life and live it to the fullest. There are several other factors that make the city tick. Birds, during the rainy season, the mood is dampened literally by the resultant effects of heavy floods. People whose homes were overwhelmed by this annual menace in June this year recount the negative event.
If it's raining like this, I can't stay inside the house with my kids. My kids cannot stay inside. Even if I enter the sitting room, the water will pass my way.
What we did is pumping stations, pumps, 2 pumps. They're taking the water out. They work 16 hours a day. Is there working now? For plastics, they are throwing into the drains. We are putting nets now. If you go to Alaka now, if you are going to Lagos, if you get to Alaka, stop and look left. You will see water hyacinth. You will see so many things, plastic and all that. If you put net there, it will not go. Then you can come and pack it. That's what we want to do now. We are going out this Sunday. And when we go out, we move with a team.
Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, also reacted to this recurring decimal.
We appeal to the people that are living in where the flood is more vulnerable to leave that place and move to the place that the flood will not affect them, the highland area. That's one. Number 2, we've started improving on our drainage system. You get what I'm saying? Clean the primary way, the architecture.
Enforcement of the prohibition of indiscriminate dumping of refuse.
Thanks, Annie. One more break before we close shop. Don't go away.
How do you describe something extra special? Cool. Dark. Smooth. Strong. Rich. And satisfying.
Trophy Extra Special Stout with extra special roasted barley for extra special satisfaction.
And that's our program this week. Thanks for being there. Until we meet again next Sunday, I leave you with this. Life has 2 rules. 1, never quit. 2, always remember rule number 1. Good night and God bless Nigeria.
NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. All visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the YouReport link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected.